Good morning. It's Dr. Jeff Munn here to try to keep you safe and your pets safe for Halloween. Here's an article that we will put in the first comment down below, a link to this article from Forbes from the AVMA president Michael Bailey talking about Halloween and pets. Many of these things you're going to find year after year after year, but there are a couple of new nuggets that I found in this report this year. First of all, Halloween is a lot of fun. However, for our dogs and cats, they can be very frightened with this, and visits to emergency clinics will spike. Pumpkin Pet Insurance says that insurance claims from 2020 to 2024 were the third most candy related claims. First was Christmas, Thanksgiving, and then came Halloween. Owners spend an average of $760 per candy related claim. So the plan is to keep you away from the emergency clinic by taking these few precautions. The other thing is there are Halloween costumes and things that have different types of texture to them. You know that our dogs, especially, are more like 2-year-olds. Anything that's awkward or interesting or weird, they will tend to put it in their mouth. So foreign objects and ingestion is also another reason that they end up at the emergency clinic. This article was by our AVMA president, Dr. Michael Bailey, and there's some good things in here. There's a nice big photo of Dr. Bailey. Candy, the main ones that we think about as your toxic principles are going to be chocolate, but there's an increasing number of incidents at emergency clinics due to xylitol. Xylitol drives your blood sugar down in pets. They do not handle it like humans do. That's the non-sugar ingredient or sugar substitute, which is in a lot of sugarless gums and things like that. So be aware of that. Toxicity in chocolate depends on the type and the concentration of chocolate. For example, Baker's chocolate is a lot more toxic than, say, milk chocolate. You can get some information to figure out where we're at on the danger scale with a couple of hotlines, poison control and the pet poison helpline. Both of those, I think, will charge you with a credit card. Grapes can be used as decorations for, fake eyeballs in some of the interesting things that we do over Halloween. Remember that grapes and raisins have a toxic principle that is not as well understood in dogs, so it does not follow a guideline where a bigger dog can tolerate more chocolate of the same type than a smaller dog. In these toxic principles, they don't follow those guidelines, and 1 or 2 grapes could be extremely toxic to a really large sized dog because the toxic principle is not as well understood and the concentration varies greatly. One that is a little bit newer this year, I haven't seen this on the list before, but it is something to be aware of. The glow sticks, they are becoming more and more popular for trick or treaters to wear those or carry them around for lighting purposes to be able to be seen. Really a good idea, but they can have an irritant in them and they can cause GI upset, which is bad if they eat that plastic coating. So make sure that the dogs are not, especially dogs, are not getting hold of those things. They will also be found around the day after where they've fallen off. They have been put to the side or, just the way things happen. So be aware of that when you're walking your dog after the weekend after tomorrow, which is Halloween. And also, do not automatically assume to have your pet vomit things up. Things that are toxic on the way down as an irritant can also be like a chemical or battery. You actually don't want to make them vomit that up. It's common that we will have pets vomit things up when they have ingested something such as chocolate, but with the glow sticks, that is not recommended. Uh, Again, we talked about costumes. The other thing with costumes is that we have a lot of pets now that have a short face and are like French bulldogs, pugs, English bulldogs. be aware that you don't want to have anything that's very constricting. They already have a tough time breathing in a good situation. So make sure if you're dressing them up, if they begin to not like the costume, just don't make them wear it. And make sure if you're putting one on them that it is flexible, they can be comfortable in it, walking around in it. But if you're taking them with you, which has become more popular, be aware of that. Signs of stress or ears getting pinned back, a lot more panting body language with what they call a whale eye, the way their eyes, that means they're getting stressed and they're ready to get back. The other big thing that can happen is due to all of the noises, the ringing bells, doors being open. This is a time to make sure make sure that your pet's microchip is registered and everything is on board with your microchip. If your pet's not microchipped, it may be a time to think about getting that done, because there are a number of pests that will flip out, dash, run. Getting lost can be a bigger deal. And then finally, pumpkins. Cats and dogs will eat the stuff from the inside of pumpkins. If they eat too much of the raw pumpkin stuff, it can cause some constipation. Candles. Here it talks about dogs wagging their tail and knocking a candle over inside a pumpkin, something like that, starting a fire. This is also the year of the cat. And I got this one from Dr. Marks and Clemson University. That is not in this article, but remember that cats like to play with things, including the flame from a candle. So be careful with candles, as they're often used as a decoration, or when the lights, we turn them down for certain effects and things like that over the Halloween season. So just a short conversation to remind you of a few things to keep in mind as you go out and enjoy the Halloween season and the ghosts and the goblins and the spooky stuff. Keep your kitties and your puppy dogs safe.